Welcome back to Dice at Dusk. Today's episode, I'm going to show you how to play Doctor Who Time of the Daleks board game. This game, you take on the role of one of four doctors, racing to be the first one to reach Gallifrey before the Daleks do. So let's get this to the table, and I'll show you how it's played. First, we're going to gather the Web of Time board game, the TARDIS consoles, the timey-wimey cards, time anomaly cards, the Doctor cards, companion cards split into two decks, alien companions and Earth companions, the player turn cards, all your story dice, blue, green, red, and the black, assorted tokens, the Dalek miniatures, and the Doctor miniatures. Now I painted these out of the box, they'll come gray. Next, grab your TARDIS miniatures and your colored bases. Each player picks a color and puts it on the base of the TARDIS and the Doctor they choose. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to bring you through is a setup of the table. First, you're going to put your player board down, obviously. Player select a TARDIS console. For this one, we're going to go with the first Doctor and the 11th Doctor. Get the matching miniatures and color bases. So green and red for this one. And the matching Doctor cards. So first Doctor, 11th Doctor. The next step is to get the linked companions. Each Doctor comes with a linked companion. The first Doctor is Susan, alien. So you go to the alien deck, and that is my first companion. For the 11th Doctor, of course, it's Amy Pond out of the Earth deck. Then you're going to shuffle the Earth and Alien companion decks. Players place 2 Sonic tokens on their console. Shuffle the timey-wimey deck. Deal 2 cards to each player. And place the rest on the table. Place the Earth and Web of Time board in the middle of the table. Shuffle the locations and dilemmas and place them on the table. And place 1 dilemma tile face down in each empty spot on the Web of Time board. Place the time anomaly tokens on 6, 9, 12, and 15. Place the Dalek ship on the Skaro location. Next, you're going to shuffle and place the time anomaly cards and 6 Dalek miniatures to the side of the board. Collect your dice, and you're ready to play. So once you get your table set up, you're going to place your TARDIS miniatures on the Earth space. Each player's turn is broken up into 4 steps: prepare, travel, adventure, and finish. This is really where they capture the essence of Doctor Who. So the prepare phase starts with taking 2 Sonic tokens and putting them on your TARDIS console. This is where you can uninstall equipment, install equipment, or dismiss companions. I'm not dismissing my first companion, which is Susan, the linked companion to the first Doctor. I don't have any equipment to uninstall, but I do have equipment to install. So I'll do that now. By paying the cost that's on the card, which is 2 Sonic charge tokens. Step 2 is travel. During this step, you can stay at your current location if there's an unsolved dilemma, or move to another location in play, or a new location altogether. So since I'm in my TARDIS console, I'm going to move to a new location, obviously. I get to roll the TARDIS die. Alright, so there's 2 symbols on the TARDIS die. which is a question mark, or the actual TARDIS. If I roll a TARDIS, I get to draw 2 location tiles, and choose one and discard the other. So if I roll a question mark, the TARDIS thinks she's smarter than I am and tells me where to go. I do that by just drawing a location tile from the top and placing my doctor in any time zone. So let's roll and see what I get. A question mark, of course. So you put the location down, put 2 dilemmas in the empty spots, and move your doctor to one of the time zones, which is present or past. I'm going to go to the past since it requires some green and blue dice. And right now, that's what I'm showing. Once you choose a time zone, flip the dilemma card. Nice, it's green. So right now, I'm pretty good with blue and green, hopefully. So that's the end of the travel step. Next step is adventure. Here I can recruit a companion, determine the challenge, create a dice pool, roll the dice, and resolve the adventure. So if you have an empty companion space in your TARDIS, which I have 2, you can recruit a companion. If you're on Earth, you draw from the Earth companion deck. If you're not on Earth, you draw from the alien companion deck. If you're on a time anomaly, you can draw from either deck. So some companions have additional linked companions to them. For instance, Susan has Barbara Wright linked. But I only could search through the deck if I was on Earth. Since I'm not on Earth, I can't. So I will just choose a card. And I got Leela. When you place a new companion, you leave a gap between the TARDIS console and the new companion, representing that she is not an official companion yet. Since we don't have any linked companions on the dilemma or location, we'll just move forward. Next step is to determine the challenge. This is the best part because this is where the dice come in. So the challenge is made up of the dice faces that are on the location and the new dice faces that are on the dilemma. So for this one, I need 1 running, 3 diplomacy, and 1 science. Starting dice pool is determined by a doctor card, which is the first doctor. So I get 4 black dice, 1 blue. My companion, which gives me 1 black. Leela doesn't give me any dice. So now I can focus dice. What that means is the symbols without the plus number on the companions and the doctor allow me to swap out that color for one of my black dice. So what I'm going to do is swap out one of Susan's green for one of the doctor's black. This is where I would exterminate dice. If there was a Dalek on this spot from a previous attempt, it would exterminate one of my dice. It's a little different if you're on Earth because a Dalek only counts if it's in the same time zone. If you're on a location other than Earth, it doesn't matter what time zone it's in. Now we get to roll the dice. Alright, so this wasn't too bad. I got one of the running symbols. Run, you clever boy. One of the science symbols. And that's it. If I didn't meet the challenge on the first try, I get to re-roll the dice by using my companions, my equipment, or cards in my hand. Right now I have the Doctor's Ring installed, so I can re-roll 2 black dice. Susan allows me to re-roll another black dice, so that's 3 black dice I get to re-roll. You can also use one of your timey-wimey cards. I have the Jelly Babies card, so for the cost of 1 Sonic Charge token, I get to roll either green, blue, or red dice, any amount. So I only have 1, so I'm going to re-roll my 1 green dice. Now between the re-rolls from my companion and my equipment, I got 2 more diplomacy. All we need is 1 more. So another way to get to re-roll is by spending 2 sonic charge tokens. I only have 1, so I can't use that option. I can also discard a black die. I could discard 1 black die, reducing the size of my dice pool, to re-roll any of your dice. This can be done as many times as I want, as long as I have black die. You can also change the face of a die if you have a card or a companion ability to allow you to do so. I don't have one, so I can't do that. The last thing I can do is to change the face of a die by spending 3 sonic charge tokens. Again, I only have 1, so I can't do that. So the only option I have is to discard 1 black die. So here goes nothing. Yes, and I got my last diplomacy. Now that I've matched all the required dice on the location, my adventure is a success. Each dilemma has a fail condition on it. This one, for instance, the Solarians, discard 2 timey-wimey cards and move the Dalek ship forward 2 spaces. But since we succeeded, discard the tile. Then I gain the reward from the time zone I'm in. Then move my TARDIS 2 spaces. And draw 2 timey-wimey cards. So let's just say we failed this. First thing you would do is dismiss all the part-time companions, which Leela was a part-time companion. You would add a Dalek marker to the location. If they're on Earth, place a Dalek marker in their time zone. So the locations get a Dalek marker just in the middle, and Earth gets it in the time zone the Doctor's in. The last thing is to do the fail condition, which on this one, discard 2 timey-wimey cards and move the Dalek ship forward 2 spaces. So we would move this Dalek ship 2 spaces. If this was further in the game and there was 5 Daleks on separate locations and the 6th Dalek marker had to come out, it would be the Davros Dalek marker. Once he's been placed, the time of the Daleks is at hand. If you ever have to replace the 7th Dalek marker, the game is over. And the time of the Daleks has arrived. The Daleks conquer the universe and the game ends immediately. The final step is finish. You're going to discard any locations other than Earth that don't have a Dalek or Doctor marker on them. Draw a new dilemma for any empty slot on Earth. If you have more than 4 timey-wimey cards in your hand, discard down to 4. And pass the TARDIS die to the next player. So this is where the cooperative aspect of the game comes in. You can ask for help. So if you don't think you're going to be able to complete the challenge on your own, you could choose one of the other doctors to come help. That doctor cannot refuse, but gets to choose if they're going to help from afar or come to your location and help. If the doctor decides to come to your location and is not already at your location, that doctor also must discard a sonic charge token or a timey-wimey card. On top of that, the Dalek ship gets to move 2 spaces, so use it wisely. In helping a doctor, you must split your dice pool. Each doctor uses their own companions, their own equipment cards, and their own dice. If you discard a black die, only that doctor gets to use that ability. If the dice are exterminated, the doctor being helped chooses which die will be discarded. So if the doctor comes to your location, the helping doctor has a dice pool of 3. The doctor who's being helped has a dice pool of 5, or 4 dice if the dilemma or the time anomaly has a time breach condition. If you succeed, the helping doctor also gains the rewards, and you remove an additional Dalek marker from that location. If they're on Earth, they only remove an additional Dalek marker from the time zone they're in. But be careful, because if you fail, you pretty much fail twice. You add an additional Dalek marker, and you complete the fail conditions for the helping doctor as well as the doctor being helped. If the doctor chooses to help from afar, The helping doctor only gets a dice pool of 1. The doctor being helped gets a dice pool of 7 or 6, depending on the dilemma. If you're successful, the helping doctor draws 1 timey-wimey card. If you fail, the helping doctor must discard a sonic charge token or a timey-wimey card. So helping from afar is not as risky. It's also not as rewarding. Helping at the location is more rewarding, but riskier. Now I'll go over the time anomalies. Anytime a Dalek ship lands on or moves through a space containing a time anomaly, you remove the marker from the board and draw a time anomaly card. So if the ship moves through this time anomaly marker, I would remove it and draw 1 card. Destiny of the Daleks. We'll use this one for the example. There's 3 different kinds. There's locations, tasks, and instant time anomalies. So if you draw a location time anomaly, they don't have dilemma cards. The challenge is always the same. They don't require the doctor to roll the TARDIS die. You can recruit your companion from either deck, the Earth or the alien, and you do not receive a Dalek marker on the time anomaly if you fail. Each of them have a reward condition and a fail condition. Task anomalies change the game rules in some way until the doctor completes the series. For instance, the Destiny of the Daleks, the effect to place all 3 green dice on this card. The doctors cannot use them. The challenge is to remove 1 die from this card each time a doctor succeeds in a challenge that includes a running man or a diplomacy symbol. Discard the card when the last green die is removed from it. So these 3 dice are locked until we complete that. So it's advantageous for you to complete it as soon as possible. And then there's instant time anomalies, like the time of the doctor. The time of the doctor, the effect is each doctor regenerates. Must dismiss a companion, draw a timey-wimey card, gain 2 sonic tokens. And then each doctor regenerates. When a doctor regenerates, each player takes the next highest numbered doctor available and passes their old doctor around. If you're already the highest numbered doctor, you regenerate to the first doctor. In this case, I would take the first doctor, regenerate into the 4th doctor, and then the 11th doctor would regenerate into the 12th doctor. If I was playing the 12th doctor, I would regenerate to the 1st doctor, the 1st doctor would regenerate into the 4th doctor, and so on. As they come out with more expansions, more doctors and more companions will be added to the game, so you'll have everyone's favorite doctor, Doctor number 10, David Tennant. So you ask, Nick, how do you win the game? Good question. You win the game when the first doctor reaches Gallifrey. If you get to Gallifrey before the Dalek ship does, you win. So the doctors win, but the first doctor to reach Gallifrey is the real winner. What's that you say? How do you lose the game? Even better question. If there are already 6 Dalek markers on the board and the 7th need to come out, you lose. And if the Dalek ship reaches Gallifrey in the Dalek turn, you lose. So you have 3 conditions where you can lose and only 1 way you can win. So that's the rules for Doctor Who, Time of the Dalek. Alright, thanks for joining us on this episode of Dice at Dusk, where I showed you how to play Doctor Who, Time of the Daleks by Gale Force 9. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Check out the links below. And until next time, this is Nick from Dice at Dusk. Keep playing games.